Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and I'm your watch guy today. If you haven't already subscribed, go down there and press that subscribe button. We are so close to 2,000 subscribers now. So close. Just go on, join us. Go ahead. Today, I am reviewing a watch that I have anticipated like God knows what. If you follow my comment section or you see my posts on Facebook or anything like that, you'll know that I've been so excited for the Pagani Design Submariner Homage, but the 40mm, because the 43 was just too big for me. Now, before I started reviewing watches, I used to really enjoy watching watch reviews, and the 43mm was always that watch that everyone reviewed and loved because of the price of it and how nice it looked and how much it did. But one complaint always was that it's 43mm when it could be really nice at 40. So Pagani Design released the 40mm, but they didn't release it in the Hulk colorway, which ground my gears so much, because I thought if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it in the Hulk colorway. I'm going to get it the green one. That's what I want. A few months pass and I wait, and finally Pagani Design drop 40mm Hulk. So I bought it straight away. It came within about 8 days, which is fantastic. And yeah, it's hardly left my wrist. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have some drawbacks, which I will get onto. Now, if you're interested in buying this watch, my affiliate link is in the description. I would really appreciate you using that link. It helps the channel a lot, and that's where I bought mine. So yeah, thank you in advance. Without further ado, let's get this camera turned around and let's get into this review. So this is the Pagani Design PD-1661 and it is absolutely beautiful. This video really doesn't do it justice. In person, the way it catches the light, the way that the bezel reflects, it's a beauty. It really is. So let me start by talking to you about the dimensions, because obviously that is the big change with this model. So in diameter, I have this one coming in at 40.5mm. That is from here to here. Thick, it is 12.6mm, 13.6 if you include that Cyclops. Lug to lug, it is 47.5mm, and the lugs are 20mm. So very favourable and very recognisable sort of dimensions on this watch. Obviously, it's very wearable for a lot of people, and very wearable for people who have smaller wrist sizes, like myself. It'd probably also suit people that have larger wrist sizes but like to wear smaller watches. I think this one hits a lot of different markets, and I think Pagani Design were probably a little bit slow to release this one. It is packed with the same NH35A movement that you would expect to see in it. Pagani Design used this movement on a lot of their other watches, and there's a good reason for that. It's a brilliant movement, it's cheap, and it's reliable. I won't go into that movement too much because obviously you've heard me speak about that movement over and over again in the past. So let me talk to you about the case. It is 316L stainless steel. It is obviously a homage of the Rolex Submariner. We have brushed upper lugs and polished sides. The finishing on it is actually really good. As you can see, we have lineal brushing along the casing, and for the price of it, I think it's actually really good. It flows with the bracelet really well too, so I was rather happy with it. Now, between these lovely crown guards over here, we have this screwed down crown. It has a clean edge to it, and it is signed with the Pagani Design logo. Another thing that I've noticed on this one that I haven't noticed on any of the other watches up to this point, you can actually see the rubber gasket on it. So yeah, it's nice to see that they've actually fitted it with one. And just screw that back in. As you'd imagine, first setting is for the date, second setting is for the time, as is usual on the NH35A. As we move to the back of this watch, we have a display screw down case back. You can see that NH35 in the back of this one. We also have some information surrounding the case back itself. Pagani Design, water resistant, 100 meters, stainless steel. And just below the Pagani Design there, you may be able to see it, we have the PD-1661. Now the bezel fit on this one has actually impressed me. It doesn't usually with Pagani Designs. When I say it's impressed me that it's not as bad as Pagani Design usually are. Nice click to it, 120 click unidirectional bezel with that sub style bezel edge, and hardly any play in it. Really nice, no real bounce. Yeah, I mean, usually on a Pagani Design bezel, you're expecting a little bit of back play and it's slightly bouncy, especially at this price range. But this one's fitted really well and I'm very, very pleased with it. As I mentioned, it's a 120 click unidirectional bezel, as you would expect on a dive style watch. It has a ceramic bezel insert, this lovely green colour that is really nice and reflective. It looks really premium too. We have white accents on it, 10-minute intervals with Arabics, 5-minute intervals have batons, and we have a 15-minute indicator ticking around the side of it here. Up at the 12 o'clock we have a triangular index with a lume pip. Really nice to see. And as I said, really nice action on this one. Very, very nice quality from Pagani Design for this type of price. I am impressed. As we move on to the crystal inserted into this casing, it is a sapphire crystal and it does have a cyclops, as you can see there, which is heavily magnified. Now, altogether, this casing provides the watch with 100 meters of water resistance, which is expected from these Pagani Designs. That's what they usually come in at. Now, as we move into the dial of this watch, it's a very lovely green sunburst effect. It catches the light really, really well. We have applied indices with stainless steel borders and loomed white centers, as you'd expect on this type of Homage. We have a triangular index at the 12 o'clock, batons at the 6 and 9, and the rest of the indices are circular indices with that same stainless steel border and loom center. Over at the 3 o'clock we have a date window that is highlighted by this heavily magnified cyclops that we have on the sapphire crystal. Now, on the outside of the dial itself we have a printed white minute track. Up at the 12 o'clock we have the Pagani Design logo, followed by Pagani Design Explorer. This is one of their Explorer dials. I believe they put that onto pretty much every one of their 40mm dials. I know I had in the Yachtmaster Homage that I reviewed, and I've seen it on a couple of the others. Down at the 6 o'clock we have automatic water resistant 10 bar 100 meters. As I bring you in closer, you can see just below the 6 o'clock indice we have Japan movement. Sorry, I can't focus that in there. Japan movement, which signifies the NH35 movement that we have in the back of this. As we move on to the handset, you can see that it is also a stainless steel border on it. We have a Mercedes style handset with a lollipop second hand with a very large counterbalance. The handset is also loomed, as are the indices. I'll insert the loom shot for you just here. As you can see, pretty much the standard loom that you'd expect from Pagani Design. Doesn't last very long and is definitely a point that they can improve on in the future. Now, as we move into the bracelet of this watch, Pagani Design have started doing their bracelets a little bit differently. So is the usual folding machined clasp on this one, safety mechanism on here. Pagani Design printed on this Rolex Homage clasp. We have the usual micro adjust system in the back of it, as you can see just there. Really hard to get at still. It does have an extension on it, about half a link I'd say. One of those sweaty day extensions really, isn't it? High polish down the side of the links, which is nice. We have screw links, again at this price range, very nice to see. The difference that we have on this one is that they've stopped doing the center in a high polish. It is all brushed now, which I think goes much better with the casing, the brushing on the top of the casing, and it's less susceptible to those little scratches that you seem to pick up straight away on the high polished bracelets. We have solid end links. The end links are a little bugger to get out, but you know, you can't really complain at this price for solid end links. A stainless steel bracelet, screw links. They do a lot for that type of budget. They do spread it quite thin, but I quite like what they pack in to their watches for such little money. So I am a big fan of that. Let me just pop this on wrist as I speak to you about that. So here is the Pagani Design 40mm Hulk Submariner Homage on wrist. Absolutely gorgeous, and it really does catch the eye. Very, very nice watch for the price that you pay. It is sub £60 at the moment. I believe it's 55 after discounts if you pick it up now. I will pop a link in that description there. This is going out on the 11th, so I think you'll have a couple of hours left to get onto that sale. So if you want to get it now. Unfortunately, if you're watching this video in the future, then it may be slightly more, but not much more. And definitely still worth it. So they do spread their budget very thin across this watch, and I've always felt that the clasp and bracelet is where they spread the budget really, really thin. So it's always sharp and finish. You never feel it on your wrist, but it is sharp and finish, and people do pick up on that. The micro adjust system is really hard to use. I've never really been a fan of it. And yeah, that's my main complaint. Quality control is never really their forte, and I will mention that in the moan section. But on wrist, absolutely gorgeous watch, and it does a lot for the amount that you pay, especially if you get it under £60. I think it's a bargain. So let me get this off wrist and tell you about the moans that I have. So as I mentioned, they spread the budget thin. Another thing that they spread quite thin is that lume. It doesn't last very long, and it can be patchy in areas, which is never a good thing. Now, one thing that everyone wants Pagani Design to do better at the moment is that lume. Even if you're going to throw another £10 onto each watch, I think it's worth it if you can get much better lume. If you can apply much more, I think people will pay it. Another moan that I have is this Cyclops. It's way over magnified. It is aligned well, but I will probably still take this one off because I'm just not a fan of it. I just think it's too magnified. I'm never really a fan of Cyclopses anyway. It just doesn't suit me personally. And yeah, it will probably be going in the future. My biggest issue with this one, which comes down to quality control, I'll just zoom you right in. If you look down towards the 6 o'clock indice, it is definitely misaligned. It's off to the left, I think, at the bottom. It looks slightly askew. As well as that, I don't think the bezel aligns perfectly to the 12 o'clock. Spin that right back around. I think it is slightly off at that 12 o'clock position. So, as I said, they spread the budget really thin, and one thing that they definitely don't concentrate enough on is the quality control. One argument is that it's a really cheap watch, and you can bypass that quality control because of the budget that they spend on it. Another school of thought is that maybe throw a little bit more on top of the watch price and get the quality control right. Personally, I could go either way, depending on the day. I think it's for you to decide yourself which school of thought you're into, and it's definitely not every watch that this type of thing happens. I mean, I've had Pagani Designs in the past that have been absolutely perfect for the price. It just happens that this dial is slightly misaligned. So, do I think it's worth the £60? Do I think it's worth the £69? That is retail, I believe. Yeah, I think it's absolutely perfect for that price. I'd advise a lot of people who are looking at the first automatic watch to go and look at Pagani Design, because there's definitely something out there for everyone, and it's definitely a budget that everyone can get on board with on their first watch. Yeah, I think they're perfect for someone that's starting out, and they're also perfect for a collector who wants something to just beat around the office, beat around the workplace, or to collect. I think they're just gorgeous watches, and I am definitely amassing a small collection of them now. So guys, that is my review of the Pagani Design Submariner 40mm hull Homage. I have to get that Homage part in, that is very important. I think it's a bargain. I think it will suit a lot of people. If you don't want this one, they also have it in a blue. They have it in a green with a black face, a blue with a black face. I think they have some other colorways too. I think it's a bargain. And I think if you're looking for a really cheap Submariner Homage, don't think there's many better. In fact, I could argue that there aren't any better. Maybe you'll disagree. Let me know in the comments section. Guys, if you have enjoyed this video, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below. And if you have anything that you would like to see in the future from me, my email address is jasonthewatchguy@gmail.com. I love receiving your emails. I love seeing your comments. So please do send me one. I reply to pretty much everyone, I think. So thank you for watching this, guys. I will see you in the next one.